It's time now for our in-depth news analysis segment, and during this Multicultural Week special, we have a special series of interviews lined up for this segment to learn more about the diverse society in Korea today, as well as some of the challenges and issues facing non-native residents. First up today, we will be speaking to Roy Alok Kumar, Professor Emeritus at the Busan University of Foreign Studies. He's also the Director of the Institute of Diversity and Inclusion at the Busan Multicultural International School. He came from India more than 40 years ago now and became a naturalized Korean citizen in 2011. He was in fact the 100,000th person to become naturalized. He joins us now via video call to tell us more about the multicultural community in Korea. Professor Kumar, hello, and thank you for your time today.
Hello, good to see you, and good to have me here.
Can you first introduce yourself to our listeners in your own words, and also about the Busan Multicultural International School and what you do there?
Well, I came to Korea in 1980. That was March of 1980. So it is already more than 43 years in Korea. And I came as a student to do my PhD work. And then somehow I got this position at Busan University of Foreign Studies, where I taught for more than 32 years. I just retired and have become the Professor Emeritus. Yes, I also worked for the city, Busan City, for 4 years as the Secretary General of Busan Foundation for International Studies, where my job was to connect Busan to its sister cities diplomatically and also for other training programs.
Right. So, well, first, congratulations on a happy retirement, I'm guessing, after a successful career. You are someone who has been following the development of the multicultural community in Korea over the years and directly involved as well, as you've mentioned. Can you tell us a bit more for our listeners about the multicultural and immigrant community in Korea today, for example, its size and its makeup?
In Korea, if I'm not wrong, we have about 2.5 million non-natives in Korea. Among them, the multicultural families make up a major portion. There are also 166,000 foreign students today and many more workers. I think this word multicultural families came into existence after an act that was passed in 2008 for Multicultural Family Support Act, they call. And since then, this word is being used. But before that, I came here when I was a foreigner. And even though I came from India, most of the Koreans thought I was an American soldier. So that was the stage at that time when Korean people's awareness about the foreign community was limited to the Americans who were present here. But now it has been very diverse. And as you know, the international marriage where the foreign brides come into the picture, and there are about 137,000 brides in Korea today by 2022 statistics. And 28,000 foreign grooms have married Korean brides. So that is a big figure, and it is growing. And I think they say that by the year 2040, 4.3% of Korean population would be non-natives.
Right. So as we've said, you've been here for over 4 decades. So you've seen how the community has developed and perhaps the perception of the community within wider Korean society change as well. As we said, there's this term that came up, the multicultural family, 다문화 가족, that didn't exist when you arrived. How much do you think things have changed for foreign residents in Korea over those years?
Yes, it has changed a lot. In fact, you'll be surprised that In Korea, the Naturalization Act was introduced in 1948, and one of the first persons to be naturalized was Korea's first lady, Francisco Donner, if you might know the name, uh, President Lee Seung-man's wife. And I was the 100,000 naturalized citizen, and it took almost 53 or 63 years to reach that level.
Hmm.
And the next 100,000 naturalized citizen in Korea happened in just 8 years. So it will show you how fast this community is changing. And they are all over. In fact, today, more than the multicultural families, there are lots of uh, workers, teachers, and even students in Korea. And they are widespread, they are all over
Hmm.
Korea. Yes,
Yes.
Gyeonggi-do probably has the most. It has
Right.
about 360,000 people. Seoul has 260,000 people. Incheon has 66,000 people. And Gyeongsang-namdo has 63,000 people, such non-natives.
Right.
Yes, so this number is becoming more visible.
Yes, so the number is growing, the number of non-native residents in Korea. It's interesting. You said how things have changed over the years, and I think it will. A lot of it have been for the good, for the better, but still there are a lot of challenges as well, right? There are reports, of course, all the time about concerns about integration within the Korean society as well. Can you tell us a bit more about that as well? What do you think are perhaps some pressing issues in the community?
Yes. When the foreigners were just foreigners or non Koreans, there was not much of a problem. Korean society was very open to the foreigners. But when this multicultural families idea came, a bit of uh, what you call psychological barriers also started coming up. Uh, the government in in 2008 they started setting up support centers for the multicultural families, and now probably in Korea we have 230 multicultural centers where the multicultural families get all types of helps, like Korean language courses are provided, psychological counseling is also done, job finding for those multicultural families, and other programs that can help them be a part of Korean society today. This was promoted probably by the UNESCO law in 2001, uh, which said Universal Declaration on Cultural Diversity. So Korea has now slowly started agreeing to the global needs and also the national needs, because Korean population today is declining at a rate that is disturbing.
Hmm.
And people here are concerned as well about the entry of non-Koreans in Korea. But I'm sure this situation will improve because every country has faced this problem. Koreans are also very many in foreign countries. It is amazing that 7 million Koreans live abroad. And even in Japan, after the liberation, about the situation, not about, but the situation of the Korean Japanese was a serious issue.
Hmm.
And somehow the Korean government and the Japanese government tried to sort it out in a quick time, I would say. So this is a natural phenomena, but what I think Korea has uh, a better position today because it has learned from its own experiences of its own citizens abroad and also the experiences of many developed countries. Korea is almost at the door of a developed country. I would say it's the top 10 uh, economies in the world. So this is quite natural. The immigration issue is very common in most of the countries. People move in and move out. As people are coming into Korea, many Koreans are also moving out. So this process is a continuous process and it has to be managed well. Yes, initially there were some problems. Even in my case, also, when I was a foreigner, not a naturalized citizen,
Mm.
my children's education was a major problem. I didn't know how long I would be staying. I had to renew my visa every time. So I had to send my children to a foreign school so that they know at least some English.
Mm.
And as they passed out from from the foreign school or international school, they could not get admission in a good Korean university. So I had to send
Right.
them out again to a foreign country for higher degrees. Of course, in the process, they have learned many languages, many things, and their achievements are commendable. They have done pretty well. Mm. But today, Korea needs people who are young enough, young brains, I would say.
Right.
And if young people come, what happens? Their children's education becomes very important. So this is one of the
Right.
areas probably Korea has to look into.
Right. So thank you for sharing your personal stories with us as well. With all that you've said in mind, can you then tell us about the government's immigration policies? How does that fit into the situation at the moment? What sort of immigration policy would you say South Korea has? And is the government looking to has the government been effectively looking to promote immigration from overseas as well over the years, do you think?
I think Korea is getting more open to immigration. And recently, you might have seen that the uh, Korean Minister of Law, he talked about it, and he now suggested that there should be a dedicated agency for immigration.
Hmm.
Earlier, many departments were involved: the Department of Labor, Department of Law, and so many, the immigration and the police as well. But now they want one agency to look into it, which is a very positive change, I would say, because there were some systemic barriers, and I think those barriers are going down now. So it will help the immigration process go more faster. So this is a very positive change. Policy changes also, aim at the declining population and the old age problem in Korea. Korea uh, earnestly needs young people, and to do so, they need to bring in young talents from all over the world, wherever they can find. And Korean economy also needs that. So Korean society is opening up not only to globalization, but their mind is also opening up to these realities. And today, not many people mind if their daughter-in-law or if their son-in-law is a foreigner, which is a very positive change.
Right. So
And I might tell you that the number of international marriages is also growing. 1 out of 10 is now an international marriage in Korea. So marriage has also become one of the major means for immigration.
Right. So, Professor, you do believe that immigration is the solution that can help Korea deal with the population crisis it's facing. So then, how do you think Korean society will change down the road? What do you think the Korea's immigration foreigner communities will look like down the road? And what path should we be heading down, do you think?
I would say it's not a very difficult thing for a society to change into, because most of the people in Korea are living in cities, and in urban living lifestyle, nobody really cares where the person has come from. Hmm? So cosmopolitanism is becoming a practice today. So Korea's urbanization really is, in a way, helping the immigration policy as well. Earlier in farming communities, this was an issue, but today I don't think it is anymore a major issue. But the issues are practical issues. It is not only inclusion of these so-called non-natives, but empowerment is one of the issues that Korean government needs to look into, or Korean society needs to look into. Many statistics suggest that the unemployment rate among the multicultural uh, family members over 15 is very low. So it is around 30% or so. So 70% of them they need a job, or empowerment, at least for self-empowerment, at least. That is one area that the government needs to look into. Yes, there are different types of jobs that are open to them. The permanent jobs are not very many. So they have to work on a temporary basis or on a day-to-day basis. And this becomes a hurdle because it adds to their vulnerability, their uncertainties, complexities, and as well as anxiety. So these are the things probably Korean policymakers need to look into.
Right, so you've talked about some policies that you think would like to see changed, or at least some advice that you're giving to policymakers. But finally, we have a lot of foreign residents or immigrants in Korea who are listening to the show as well. And I'm sure they will have been very curious to hear about what you had to say today. As someone who's been in Korea for more than 4 decades and has made Korea his home, what would you say to any expats or newly immigrated people here in Korea who may be listening now, who may have concerns or be anxious or be nervous about life and integration into Korean society as well?
Yes, many people, I would say it in a simple way. You can jump the boundary wall and get into the courtyard. But to get the keys to the master room, you have to commit yourself and you have to show loyalties as well. So my advice to them is try to learn as much Korean as you can. This helps. This helps in improving your quality of life as well. I also realized that. So I didn't go for the naturalization, or I didn't have a firm idea about staying in Korea this long. But opportunity is open, and one should be ready for it. And that is what I want to say to all those non-Koreans who are enjoying a quality life in Korea.
Well, with those words of advice, we'll leave it there. We've been speaking to Professor Roy Alok Kumar. We appreciate you taking the time to speak to us today. Thank you once again, and happy Chuseok.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And you too have a good Chuseok.